Thinking beyond the ego. We tend to think about personal leadership. That's what most of us do. We make decisions for our own benefit, for power, prestige, reward, or recognition. They're the things that we base our decisions on. Most of the time, it's subconscious. Again, it's not immoral, but it's very important that when we're making decisions for the organization, that we're conscious about whether it is ego-based or not. To become a transpersonal leader, we need to think beyond the ego for the benefit of all stakeholders. And a very good exercise when you get into any particular problem, and it was mentioned by one of the speakers earlier, is to actually address which of the stakeholders should have priority in this particular decision making. And this is the pyramid treasure. It's been developed over a period of about 10 years where we have developed a 360 assessment tool that has, I think it's totally now 320 characteristics to it, or statements. What we've done uniquely is we've separated values into those two things. And what it does is, personal conscience is about who you are, who I am. Self-determination is about what I'm going to do with it. And that's where the leadership element is. And it's quite interesting that if we look at a number of organizations or gurus who've come up with, you know, the most important values for an organization. We have HSBC at the moment who talking a lot about integrity and courage. Integrity is personal conscience. Courage is self-determination. Jim Collins, he talks about humility and intense will. Again, it's a combination of the two. Just a couple of words also about judgment, which is very important in this whole transpersonal thing. Again, most of our decision-making is logic-based, rational-based. But if we're going to be true transpersonal leaders, we have to learn to use intuition, instinct, insights. Now, we all do that, but we all do it pretty much subconsciously. What is really important is if we can raise our thinking in these ways to a more conscious level. And what that will do is it will enable us to take out the bias and the prejudice from our decision making. All of us have bias and prejudice deep inside us. And by the way, intuition, just in this definition, intuition is decisions that are made based on your experience. As of now, no neuroscience understands how that system works. Instinct is really your forefathers' experience. In other words, it's what the brain you're born with. And insights are those external stimuli you get when you're in an environment that allows you to perform at a higher level. An ethical philosophy, this is also really important. There are three basic forms of ethical philosophy: integrity, social conscience, and follow the rules. And I don't know if any of you have read Roger Steer's book on ethicability, but he goes into that into some detail. And the interesting thing is that we all have a different base for our ethical philosophy. Some people do it on the base of integrity, some do it on social conscience, and some because they want to follow the rules. And globally, it's about a third each. It's really useful if you're working with other people to know what their ethical philosophy is. So that's the sort of the what, in a very sort of brief way. But it's the how that is really important. And we believe very much that rather than pushing this information on people, this knowledge on people, it's about pulling. It's about providing interventions that are going to allow people to learn rather than be taught. And finally, the transpersonal journey is delivered and should be delivered, in our view, by senior leaders primarily, using work-based learning methods. And these are the kind of programs that we offer. And I think that it was really important that in order to to demonstrate, although our focus has always been on practical learning, what we've been able to demonstrate is an academic underpinning. So I'll just leave you very briefly with this. The choice is yours.